Imagine walking through the ancient forests of Kaer Morhen. The wind carries the scent of iron and herbs, and somewhere deep within the fog, a forgotten roar fades into silence. The moon rests over broken towers, and the night hums with the echo of lost magic. Now, take a slow breath. Feel the air drift around you, as if the forest itself is breathing with you. Maybe you're lying in bed, maybe you're still awake beneath the quiet glow of midnight. Wherever you are, let this sound guide you into the world where witches keep watch between man and monster. If you enjoy these journeys, please like, share, and subscribe. Tell me where you're listening from, what time it is, and the topics you'd love to explore. Your thoughts may guide our next adventure. There is a land they call the continent, a single stretch of earth shaped by time, torn apart by destiny, and mended again by chaos. Long ago, there was an event known as the conjunction of the spheres. In a single trembling heartbeat, the walls between worlds collapsed, and what was once separate became one. Monsters, spirits, and ancient energies spilled through those cracks, seeding the soil with both wonder and terror. From that day onward, the world was no longer pure. Every forest hums with a whisper that doesn't belong. Every shadow hides something older than itself. People learned to live beside what they feared, and what they feared learned to live inside them. Magic, here, is not a gift. It is not light, or blessing, or miracle. It is chaos, the raw, breathing pulse beneath the fabric of all things. It flows like invisible blood through stone, tree, and flesh alike. It gives birth, it corrupts, it devours. Those who learn to touch it can twist the world with a word, a gesture, a thought. But chaos asks for balance. It always takes what it gives. To summon fire, one must first burn. There are no gods in this land, no all-seeing eyes, no kind heavens watching over mortal lives. The only divine presence here is chaos itself, a force without will, yet capable of shaping everything that exists. It does not choose, but it tests. It does not bless, but it awakens. Those who dare to reach into it, the sorcerers, the witches, pay a price that can't be measured in coin or blood. Some are consumed by its hunger and vanish into madness. Some survive, altered forever, and some, like the witches, are reforged entirely, stripped of emotion, molded into blades to face the monsters that conjunction unleashed. The people of the continent live between these extremes, the ordinary and the arcane, the sacred and the monstrous. Cities rise on the bones of ancient ruins. Kingdoms war for power while pretending to seek order. And through it all, the world keeps breathing, expanding, collapsing, and beginning again. Everything here moves in cycles: birth and ruin, peace and war, creation and decay. It is not a straight line of progress, but a spiral, an eternal repetition of mistakes dressed in new faces. To live on the continent is to walk the edge of that spiral, feeling the rhythm of chaos beneath your feet, wondering if the world truly changes or simply remembers differently each time. Because in this realm, power does not bring salvation, it only reveals the truth of its wielder. Those who crave to command chaos often find that chaos commands them. And in that quiet realization, in the weight of that eternal irony, lies the heart of the Witcher-Sep's world. Power never saves the world. It merely uncovers the true nature of the one who holds it. Its stone walls are cracked, the gates eaten away by rot and wind. Moss creeps across the courtyard, climbing over old training dummies and shattered blades. Every stone holds the ghost of motion, the echo of a sword swing, the grunt of a master correcting a student, the clash of metal on metal that once filled the valley below. Now, only the wind answers, whistling through empty corridors, like the whisper of ghosts long departed. If you listen closely, you might hear it, the faint rhythm of a hammer once striking an anvil, forging blades meant to face the darkness. The air still carries the scent of iron and old alchemy, herbs ground into potions, oils used to bless silver swords, blood spilled and cleaned again. It is the smell of endurance and extinction. High in the frozen spine of Cadwen, wrapped in mist and silence, stands Kaer Morhen, the fortress that time forgot. It rises from the cliffs like an old scar, carved deep into the skin of the mountains. Once, it was the cradle of a dying order, the witches, forged in pain, bred for survival, bound by steel and silence. Now, it is a monument to what has already faded. Kaer Morhen is not just a fortress, it is a grave that remembers it once was alive. The witches who remain, few as they are, return here not for glory, but to find fragments of who they used to be. They walk the halls with quiet steps, touching walls that no longer answer, sleeping under roofs that once echoed with laughter, discipline, and pain. For centuries, this place stood apart from the world. It was here that alchemists and sorcerers met steel and sinew, where knowledge and cruelty blurred into one. Children, brought here by fate or coin, were remade, their veins filled with mutagens, their hearts hardened by frost. Of 10 who entered, 1 might walk out, and that one would never be the same again. Kaer Morhen is both womb and tomb, a place where life was unmade, so that others might live. It represents the paradox at the heart of the witcher's world, that the act of protection often requires becoming what must be destroyed. The witches were created to kill monsters, but in doing so, they lost the right to be called men. Now, as night falls over the mountains, the fortress stands as a memory in stone. The fires have long gone out, but the air still hums with something faint, the pulse of ancient ritual, the residue of chaos itself. The walls do not mourn, they endure. They have seen creation and ruin so many times that grief has turned to stillness. And in that stillness, beneath the pale breath of the northern wind, Kaer Morhen waits, not for redemption, nor for rebirth, but simply to be remembered. In the north, kingdoms rise and fall like the flicker of a dying flame. Redania, Temeria, Cadwyn, Aedirn, each believing itself the heart of civilization, and each quietly rotting beneath its own ambition. Their banners change, their crowns pass from one trembling hand to another, yet the streets below remain the same, damp, crowded, and heavy with the scent of smoke, beer, and human breath. The cities of the north are built upon the bones of the elder races. Vizima, Oxenfurt, and Novigrad all stand on the ruins of elven stone. The cobblestones carry whispers of forgotten songs, buried beneath layers of mortar and human greed. The people tread over those memories every day, never noticing how the earth sighs beneath them. In the alleys, between markets and taverns, there is always a sense of something ancient just out of sight, watching, waiting. At dawn, the fog rolls through like breath on cold glass. Chimneys exhale black smoke into the grey sky, and the river reflects a dull, metallic light. Merchants shout, bells toll, and priests chant to drown out the silence between the words. The people live fast and die faster, seeking warmth wherever it can be bought, at a tavern table, in a stranger's bed, or before the fire that consumes another heretic. Faith here is born from fear. Temples rise on foundations of panic, and every sermon is another attempt to keep the dark at bay. In Novigrad, they burn sorceresses in the name of purity. In Redania, they spy on one another in the name of order. To live in the north is to believe in something, anything that will make the night seem shorter. And yet, the night never truly ends. It only hides behind the glow of torches, and the crackle of pyres. Still, the North endures. Its people are resilient, not because they are noble, but because they have learned to forget. They bury their sins under the rhythm of daily life, the clang of a blacksmith's hammer, the laughter spilling from a tavern door, the rustle of pages in an alchemist's shop. Life here is always on the edge, fragile, frantic, and beautiful in its refusal to stop moving. The northern kingdoms are lands of paradox. They preach faith while sowing hatred. They build order on chaos and call destruction divine. They believe themselves civilized, yet every city carries a monster's heartbeat beneath its stones. The same fires that warm them are the ones that burn their prophets. The same hands that build their temples also sharpen the axes that will one day bring them down. To walk through the north is to witness the human condition laid bare, hope and fear locked in an endless embrace. It is a place where the light of civilization shines brightest just before it collapses into shadow, where faith is not salvation, but a mask against the void. And perhaps that is what makes it beautiful. A world always on the verge of ruin, yet too stubborn, too human, to fall completely. Far to the south, beyond the war-torn valleys of the northern kingdoms, lies Nilfgaard, the empire of discipline and light. Its plains stretch wide and golden beneath the sun, where the banners of the black sun crest every citadel and tower. From a distance, Nilfgaard gleams like a vision of perfection. Clean streets, paved with marble, soldiers standing motionless as statues, and the golden crests of the emperor glinting beneath the heat of an eternal summer. Yet, the closer one draws, the more that light feels like confinement, a glow too bright to be natural, too deliberate to be alive. Everything here moves with precision. The streets are swept, the markets silent, the people walking in measured rhythm, heads bowed slightly, as if in constant prayer or obedience. No word is wasted, no gesture unaccounted for. The empire prides itself on its order, an order so complete, it has forgotten how to breathe. Even the air feels rehearsed, like the empire itself is exhaling on command. Magic is permitted in Nilfgaard, but never free. Every spell, every incantation, every spark of chaos is monitored and licensed. Sorcerers wear their sigils like shackles, elegant, polished, but binding nonetheless. Knowledge is encouraged, but only within the boundaries drawn by imperial decree. Here, freedom is not a right. It is a performance, rehearsed and approved. The people live long, prosperous lives, yet every step they take is part of a choreography older than themselves. There are no pyres in Nilfgaard, no mobs, no visible fear. The empire has no need to burn its witches. It simply teaches them obedience. It does not destroy chaos. It tames it, folds it into its system, makes it another instrument of control. In that quiet efficiency lies the heart of its illusion, that if order is strong enough, even the wildness of existence will kneel. But beneath the gold and discipline, something silent rots. The warmth of Nilfgaard is the warmth of a polished cage. The people's eyes shine, but their voices fade. Their cities expand, yet their dreams shrink. There is no rebellion, because there is no desire, only duty. Even the emperor, draped in black and gold, is a prisoner of his own perfection, bound by the machine he built to rule eternity. Nilfgaard is the empire humanity always believed it wanted, one without hunger, without chaos, without fear. But in the pursuit of control, it has exiled its soul. Beauty here is static, peace is breathless. The empire stands eternal, but eternity is a kind of death. In the end, Nilfgaard is not a place, but a mirror, a reflection of the world's deepest longing to silence its own uncertainty. It is the dream of absolute order, the illusion that if we polish the cage brightly enough, we might forget we are trapped within it. And somewhere, in that perfect silence, the heart of chaos still beats, slow, patient, waiting for the moment when even golden light must flicker and fade. Long before humans carved their kingdoms into the soil, before monsters and magic tore through the veil of the world, there were the elder races. The elves, the dwarves, the gnomes, beings born not of conquest, but of harmony. They were the first to shape the world with song instead of sword, to speak to the rivers and stones as if to kin. Now they are the echoes of their own legends, fading with each generation that forgets their name. The elves were the first to dream. They came with the dawn, tall and ethereal, their lives stretching across centuries like constellations. They did not build with stone, for stone was too heavy, too final. Instead, they wove their homes from light and wind, letting the forest breathe through their walls. Magic was not a tool to them, but an instinct, a rhythm they were born knowing, the same way a bird knows the sky. They loved beauty the way others loved survival. Yet it was this love, proud, unyielding, that doomed them. When humans arrived after the conjunction, the elves looked upon them as fleeting shadows, too crude to matter. But shadows multiply quickly, and soon they covered the sun. Driven from their cities, the elves retreated into forests, into memory. Their songs grew softer, their numbers fewer, until even the wind carried them only as a rumor. If you walk through the woods of Dol Blethana at dusk, you might hear them still, voices like silver, whispering to no one. They are not dead, not yet, but their world has passed, and they remain only to remember it. The dwarves and gnomes came from the deep places of the earth, from caverns where the heartbeats of mountains echo slow and steady. They were craftsmen, miners and builders. Their hands shaped the first tools, their forges birthed the first cities. Even the grandest human kingdoms stand upon the foundations they once laid, but for all their labor, they were pushed downward, beneath the world they helped create. In the taverns of Novigrad, people laugh at their stature, mocking the stooped miners and stout blacksmiths. Yet it is their endurance that keeps the forges burning, their quiet skill that arms both kings and rebels. The dwarves know what the elves have forgotten, that survival is not glory, but persistence. Beneath every city's noise, their hammers still fall in steady rhythm, a heartbeat of the old world that refuses to die. The elder races embody wisdom and decay, the natural arc of all civilizations. They remind us that beauty, left unchecked, turns to arrogance, and knowledge, unshared, to silence. They are the memory of the earth itself, patient, grieving, and slowly slipping away. Perhaps that is their final lesson, that when we stop listening to the land forgets us in return. And so the wind moves on, carrying the last songs of the elves, and the last sparks from the dwarves' forges, fading, always fading, into the quiet that follows every ending. They came after the conjunction, frail, fleeting creatures who should never have survived the night. The humans, compared to the timeless elves or the unyielding dwarves, they were small, fragile, and hopelessly mortal. But they possessed something the elder races had long forgotten: hunger. Not the hunger of the body, but the hunger of becoming. When the worlds collided, humankind slipped through the cracks, carrying with them the will to spread, to conquer, to define. They did not understand magic as the elves did, nor did they speak to the stones like the dwarves. Instead, they built their dominion on fire and faith. Within mere centuries, a blink in the eyes of the ancient, they had taken the lands, renamed the rivers, redrawn the skies, and declared themselves the rightful heirs of the world. They called themselves civilized. They called their laws truth, but their truth was only fear wearing a crown. Human society in the north runs on the machinery of belief and control. Every kingdom, every church, every blade of grass is claimed in the name of order. They divide the world into two halves, that which can be mastered and that which must be destroyed. Monsters are hunted, mages are chained, and those who think differently are burned in the squares to remind the crowd what safety costs. They built churches to drown their fear, and kings to embody it. They invented the concept of sin just to convince themselves the world could be cleansed, that if they killed enough monsters, enough heretics, enough of each other, the darkness would finally lift. But darkness is not something that can be burned away. It is something that lives in them. The evil of mankind is not monstrous in form. It does not howl in the night, or drip with fangs and venom. It wears robes and crowns. It writes laws. It blesses the sword before driving it through the heart. Humans have mastered the art of killing without seeing blood, of destroying with the words for the greater good. And yet, for all their cruelty, there is something terrifyingly beautiful about their persistence. They build, they destroy, they love, they rage, all in the brief span of a single lifetime. Where the elves mourn eternity, humans devour the present. They burn so quickly, so brightly, that even the gods, if they still existed, might stop to watch. In the world of The Witcher, humans are the only monsters who do not know they are monsters. They look at beasts and see reflections of themselves, and instead of understanding, they strike. It is not hatred that drives them, it is fear, the same fear that built their temples and crowned their kings. They arrived last, but they will not leave quietly. Humanity's story is not one of creation, but of conquest, of a species that mistook its brief spark for the sun itself. And perhaps that is their curse, to believe they are saving the world, even as they are the ones setting it on fire. In the space between what is human and what is monstrous, there exists a narrow, trembling line. It is the borderland of chaos, where those who seek power walk barefoot across fire, and those who survive are never the same. The sorcerers, the witches, the bloodlines of prophecy, all are children of that liminal place. They are not born, they are made, and in being made, they are unmade. The sorcerers and mages are the first nobles of chaos. They were not chosen by blood, but by sensitivity, by the ability to hear what others cannot, the pulse of the raw, untamed energy that underlies existence itself. In their marble towers and gilded courts, they twist that power into both beauty and horror. They advise kings, shape wars, seduce empires into motion. A whisper from a mage can crown a ruler or bring a kingdom to ruin. Yet the deeper they reach into chaos, the more it reaches back. It is said that no one truly commands magic. They only negotiate with it for a time. Many who wield it lose their form, their mind, or their heart. Some vanish into madness, consumed by the very energy they believed they controlled. Others live on, beautiful and hollow, eyes glowing with the quiet ache of too much knowledge. For them, power is not mastery, it is infection, and no one infected by chaos remains whole. Then there are the witches, forged not by birthright, but by pain. They begin as ordinary children, abandoned or sold, taken to places like Kaer Morhen to undergo the trial of the grasses, a ritual of poison and mutation. 10 enter, 1 survives. Those who live are stripped of fear, emotion, and the warmth that binds man to man. In return, they gain speed, strength, and sight beyond the dark. The world that needs them also despises them. Villagers call upon witches to slay monsters, but drive them out when the deed is done. They are necessary, but never welcome, saviors wrapped in the skin of outcasts. Neither human nor beast, they walk the thin edge between the two, forever alone in the silence that follows every battle. To the world, they are proof of a terrible truth. Sometimes salvation must come from something no longer pure. And then, beyond even them, flows the elder bloodline. Born of elven ancestry, this lineage carries within it the key to the worlds themselves, the ancient ability to open the doors between realms. Those marked by this blood are bound to prophecy, haunted by visions they do not understand. The power within them is both creation and destruction, and those who wield it rarely live long enough to see which they will become. The elder blood is not a gift, but a burden, a cross between destiny and defiance, between what the world demands and what the soul desires. All these beings, the mages, the witches, the bearers of elder blood, inhabit the grey space of existence. They are reminders that every power has a cost, every miracle a scar. They exist to keep the balance, yet they are the balance's greatest victims. No one holds chaos without paying its price. And so they walk, not as heroes or villains, but as echoes of a truth older than faith, that to stand between worlds is to belong to neither, and to bear the silence that follows when the universe itself looks away. Before the world had a name, before it had form or sound, there was chaos. It was the first breath of existence, raw, unshaped, and infinite. From it came life and death, light and darkness, creation and decay. Every spark of magic, every heartbeat, every dying star carries its echo. Chaos is not a god, nor a force of morality. It does not bless or punish. It simply is, the pulse beneath all things. Everything that lives draws from it. Everything that ends returns to it. Chaos is the current that flows unseen, weaving through rock and blood, fire and thought. It hums in the silence between lightning and thunder, in the stillness before dawn. To the untrained, it is invisible. To those who feel it, the mages, the dreamers, the cursed, it is both seduction and peril. Magic in the witcher's world is not prayer, it is negotiation. Those who wield it are not prophets, but gamblers, reaching their hands into the storm, hoping to borrow a piece of its power before the storm remembers what was taken. They do not command chaos, they bargain with it. And every bargain has a price, a life shortened, a soul dimmed, a heartbeat skipped. To cast a spell is to rearrange the universe for an instant, to force something to exist that was never meant to be. It is a defiance of the natural rhythm, and nature, in time, collects what it is owed. The more one understands chaos, the more it begins to whisper back, in dreams, in silence, in the trembling of the hands. Many mages believe they are mastering it. None realize how deeply it has already entered them. There are no pure victories in this world. Every creation demands destruction. Every healing carries a wound. A flame summoned in darkness always leaves behind ashes. That is the first and final truth of chaos. It gives and takes in the same breath. It is the eternal inhale and exhale of the cosmos, and every being, mortal, magical, or monstrous, is caught within its lungs. Those who study chaos call it balance. Those who fear it call it curse. But in truth, it is life itself. To seek to control chaos is to forget that we are made of it, that our bones, our fears, our loves, all tremble to its rhythm. Every war, every song, every empire born or burned is only the heartbeat of chaos, echoing through time. Each time a spell is cast, a piece of the soul burns, and that fire never truly dies. In the quiet of night, when the world seems still, it is not silence you hear, but the soft, endless breathing of chaos, inhaling creation, exhaling ruin, the sound of existence, reminding itself that it is still alive. History on the continent does not move forward, it circles. It turns endlessly upon itself, weaving a pattern of blood and silence that the world seems condemned to repeat. The names change, the banners fade, but the rhythm remains the same. War, peace, fear, war. It is the oldest song ever sung, and humanity cannot stop humming it, even as the melody drowns them. Each age believes itself wiser than the last. Each generation claims to have broken free of the old mistakes, and yet the pattern endures. When men fear magic, they burn the sorceresses. When despair returns, they kneel again, praying for miracles from the very forces they once condemned. The same pyres that consumed witches are later lit in reverence to the gods. The same swords that carved peace carve rebellion anew. The cycle is not cruel, it is simply human. Blood is the only ink history knows. It writes itself across the fields, across the cities, across the veins of children yet unborn. Every war births the next. Each peace sows the seeds of another storm. Those who fight grow weary, those who survive grow proud, and those who inherit grow restless. The children born of battlefields grow into men who kill for peace, believing that if they shed enough blood, the world will finally be still. But stillness never lasts. It is only the pause between screams. Even magic itself is bound to this rhythm. The rituals that seek to heal end in sacrifice. The spells that promise salvation demand destruction. Blood flows in temples as readily as it does on battlefields, and both are offered to the same unseen hunger, the need to feel in control. In truth, war is not a clash of armies. It is the heartbeat of a world terrified of its own reflection. To destroy an enemy is easy. To face what the enemy mirrors back, the fear, the greed, the thirst for meaning, that is unbearable. So the world kills and rebuilds, burns and prays, dies and begins again. It is not driven by hatred, but by the inability to rest. Humanity cannot bear peace, because peace forces them to listen, to hear the quiet voice within that asks, "What have we become?" And so the cycle continues. Each age dresses its violence in new names: holy war, liberation, progress. The gods may differ, the weapons may evolve, but the purpose is the same: to avoid the silence where truth waits. Each time blood falls, the world is only trying to remember its first nightmare. In the Witcher's world, war is not a curse placed upon mankind. It is their reflection made manifest, a ritual older than kings or faith, beating in time with the pulse of chaos itself. Every drop spilled is a reminder that the world has not healed, only forgotten. And when the drums of battle fade, the earth will breathe once more, drawing in silence, exhaling blood until the rhythm begins again. The continent breathes in cycles of memory and oblivion. Each generation inherits ruins and calls them foundations. The old gods become myths, then stories, then symbols carved on the walls of temples, for new gods who promise the same salvation. The witches who once stood as heroes are now legends, and soon they will be ghosts, dismissed as myths by the very world they saved. Magic, too, has suffered the same fate, once revered, now feared, once the heart of civilization, now branded as its sickness. And yet, this is how the world keeps turning. Memory, if left unchecked, would crush it. The weight of every death, every curse, every betrayal would drag it into stillness. So the world forgets, piece by piece, deliberately and mercifully. The forgetting is soft, like snow covering blood. It quiets the screams, blurs the sharp edges of guilt. It allows humanity to wake up each morning, believing this time will be different. In the Witcher's world, nothing truly ends. Empires crumble, kings die, prophecies fade, but only to be rebuilt, renamed, and repeated. History here does not vanish, it simply changes its clothes. The same mistakes, the same wars, the same fears are reborn under new banners. Forgetting, in this world, is not a flaw. It is how the world survives itself. But the cost of this mercy is ignorance. Each act of forgetting makes the world lighter, but also emptier. The people move through life unburdened, yet blind, unable to see the pattern repeating beneath their feet. Their comfort is bought with blindness. Their peace is only possible because they have forgotten what it cost. Forgetting, then, is the world's spiritual cycle, its secret rhythm of survival. It prevents chaos from collapsing in on itself. For if every memory remained, every wound stayed open, the weight of it all would tear existence apart. Forgetting is not death, but rebirth, a cleansing, an erasure that allows the illusion of progress to bloom again. Those who remember too much are cursed. The mages who hold the world's old knowledge are feared. The witches who recall the price of peace are exiled. Even the land itself forgets. Battlefields sink into grass. Cities are built over graves, and rivers run clean again, washing away the proof of what was done. It is as if the world itself conspires to erase its own scars, remaking itself from the ashes, without ever learning why it burned. In the hush between ages, as new empires rise from the dust of the old, the world sighs, lighter, emptier, ready to begin again. Forgetting is its way of breathing, but somewhere, buried beneath the silence, the old memories wait, whispering to the wind, asking to be remembered once more. And yet the blessing carries a quiet curse, for in forgetting what was lost, the world forgets who it was. Each generation wanders a little further from truth, believing they are building something new when they are only walking in circles carved by ghosts. After the conjunction, there were no more lines between man and monster, only beings trying to remember what they once were. Take a deep breath, slowly. Let the sound of your inhale merge with the rhythm of this world, a land forged from iron and frost. Feel the air grow colder as it fills your chest, as though you're breathing in the scent of steel and snow. Each breath carries whispers of Kaer Morhen's mountains, of the frozen winds that have watched centuries pass without mercy. Hold that breath for a moment. In the stillness, imagine the world standing perfectly still with you, suspended between one heartbeat and the next. The wind moves through old stone towers, whispering names long forgotten. You can almost hear the echoes of blades striking training posts, the soft murmur of witches long turned to dust. This is how the world remembers, not through words, but through vibrations carried on the air. Listen closely. Every gust is a story, every silence a grave. Now exhale gently, slowly, until nothing remains. Let the breath leave your body like the fading warmth of a dying forge. Watch in your mind as chaos dissolves into the mist, the raw pulse of the world returning to where it came from. In this moment, you are not separate from it. You are the wind that carries the snow. You are the dust that settles on steel. Breathe in again. Feel the pull of magic, not as power, but as balance. Chaos is not here to destroy you, only to remind you that creation and decay share the same breath. Inhale the cold until it stings, until it awakens something deep and wordless within. This is the same breath that fuels sorcerers, that sharpens a witch's senses before battle, that hums through the trees of Brokilon, where time itself refuses to move forward. Hold it. Let the stillness hum in your chest. The heartbeat you hear is not just yours. It belongs to the continent itself. Every living thing shares this rhythm. The trembling leaf, the sleeping monster, the dreaming mage. You are breathing in their stories, their fears, their quiet endurance. Now exhale. Let go of the names, the kingdoms, the scars. Let the breath fall like ashes from an extinguished torch. Watch how easily it vanishes. That is how the world heals. Not by erasing, but by releasing. Every sigh is an act of surrender. Every exhale a small forgiveness. Continue to breathe in this way. Inhale and let the frost kiss your lungs. Hold and listen to the echoes of ancient stones. Exhale and let the weight of history dissolve into the dark. This is how the Witcher's world moves, in a rhythm of forgetting and remembering, destruction and rebirth. You are part of that rhythm now, a single breath within a storm that has never ceased since the dawn of chaos. Let yourself rest here, at the edge of silence, where the world hums softly between endings and beginnings. And as the final breath leaves your body, imagine it drifting through the snow, carrying the stories of this world into another night. Perhaps the monsters never truly came from other worlds. Perhaps they were always here, waiting to be awakened, quietly breathing beneath our own skin. The witch's world fades now, like mist retreating before dawn. The echoes of steel, the whisper of spells, the hush of snow, all dissolving into calm. Thank you for walking beside me through the land where night outlasts every story. Now close your eyes and let the world of the Witcher drift softly into your dreams.